can I look inside and say, okay, what was the genesis for me? Who inspired me to get to this point? When I face adversity and I look at it as a challenge or an opportunity, where did that come from? Who did I learn that from? And that's what this film is really about. And it's about a kid somewhere, seeing the film and being inspired by the film to be able to have muses of his own. That's really what it's about.
What is this Kobe process? You'll pick up the phone, you'll call people who are leaders in industry, and you just pick their brain?
Exactly. That's exact. I mean, I just cold call people. Absolutely, I just cold call people and just pick their brain about stuff. And some of the questions that I'll ask will seem really, really simple and stupid, quite honestly, for them. But if I don't know, I don't know. I have to ask. And so I'll just do that. I'll just ask questions, and I want to learn more about how they build their business, how they run their companies, and how they see the world. And
so who are some of the people that you pick up the phone and call?
Well, we just started the Nike family. I cold call Mark Parker all the time. Johnny Ives, Dan Wyden, Oprah Winfrey, recently Ariana Huffington, and list goes on and on and on and on and on. Hillary Swank. It just goes on.
Take Johnny Ive.
Yeah.
You guys have what? You have a conversation and.
Yeah. Well, I want to know. He's obviously unique in what he does. Why? How? How does he view product? How does he view the process of designing product? How does he know that he has the product exactly where he wants it to be? How do you know those things? How is he seeing the world differently than everybody else who's manufacturing hardware? Because there's something going on from the moment that he sees something to when it goes into his brain. That's a different process than other designers. I'm curious to know what that is.
And you went to Apple to spend some time there?
Yeah, went up to Apple, spent the day there, talking with Johnny and just kind of picking his brain about product and things like that, and what makes them who they are, and why. Very, very curious about that and understanding that, and I think once you have the passion, the thing that you're passionate about now, you can look at other people or other entities or other things or works of art, and you can draw things from that to help you be better at what you do by looking for those common denominators. Johnny wanted to know, how do I prepare? How do I prepare? How do I study? How do I view the game? How do you build your game? And my response is much like the way he builds products. You think sequentially. You look at the end result of what you want to create, but in order to create that, there's so many other little things that go into this massive entity or device. It's no different than building my basketball game. You start with, what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there, and you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time. So there's a lot of similarities there.
You've got this business, Kobe Inc., and you made an investment in Body Armor, the sports drink. Are there more investments coming?
Well, it's more building out the internal structure. And so I don't even know. We haven't made any formal announcement. I'm sure we won't. Andrea Fairchild, who I hired, who was recently at Gatorade, is now coming and helping me build Kobe Inc. and running Kobe Inc. And we're just cranking away every day, building out the internal structure of what the company's to be and how can we communicate the culture internally, where are we going, building out that model, that plan. And so that's really what we're focused on.
Stuff like, you need a headquarters. You need to. I assume you need to hire people. All those things when you're starting up a business.
Right, but we also don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Like, Andrew's the one that really keeps things lined up and dotted. I have this idea and this vision of where I'd like us to go, and now it's important for us to go one step at a time and not get too far ahead.
Could you maybe want to put the marketing skills you've learned to work for others, be a marketing advisor, maybe even to other athletes?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but it's for me, doing that, it seems like I should really just do that for free, because what I'm going to tell them is be yourself. That's it. Be you. Be you. There's no gimmick. There's no, you don't have to contrive anything. Who are you? Where are you today? What is your story? Where does that come from? Right? And then all you're doing is now communicating the story to the public.
I mean, I'm sure you've learned a lot about that in the context of all the endorsement deals you've had through your career. Some of them are amazing, some of them maybe less so.
Right.
I mean, what have you learned from going through that process, the endorsement process?
Yeah, well, you learn a lot. I mean, I've seen so many different sides of that spectrum. You know, those who are the best in the world at doing it, with those who are maybe not so. And you see how they operate, see how they think culturally, how they're different, you know, how they communicate, whether they pride themselves on, companies that have complete focus, others that lose focus and wind up trying to regain it. And, you know, I've learned a lot just through osmosis, really, you know, being 18, 17 years old and starting that journey.
What was your reaction to LeBron James going back to Cleveland? Is that, do you think, important for the league?
Yeah, well, you know, I think it depends how you shape the story, right? I mean, it's like you know, how you stayed in Miami, there's a great story that you can mold and frame around that, right? You go to Cleveland, there's a way that you can mold, you know. So it really just depends on what his personal truth is. And I think he communicated his truth extremely well and why he decided to go to Cleveland. And that's what you have to stick to. And, you know, for me, it was just very fortunate to be with an organization and, you know, with an owner and now is, you know, Jimmy and Jeannie, who are just world class, man. And they pride themselves on taking care of their athletes and trying to build championship teams.